If you're thinking about launching a print-on-demand store, there's one decision that's going to be pivotal to your success: choosing the right supplier. Whether you're selling on Etsy, Shopify, or any other platform, the supplier you choose has the power to make or break your venture. A bad supplier can spell disaster. We're talking unexpected costs, unhappy customers, delays, and a whole list of other headaches you definitely don't want. In the print-on-demand world, two names often pop up as the main contenders, and those are Printify and Printful. There are definitely others out there as well, but these are the two biggest that I want to consider and look at. And in today's video, we're going to deep dive to figure out which of these two suppliers is the best. We'll pit them against each other across 9 key aspects. And for each category, I'll award a point to the platform that outshines the other. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share my honest verdict of what you need to consider when picking a print-on-demand supplier. And I'll be revealing why I actually use both Printify and Printful for my print-on-demand businesses. Just to point out, these are obviously my opinions based on my personal experiences. If you agree, disagree, or have a completely different opinion, that's absolutely fine. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Known as print-on-demand providers or suppliers, companies such as Printify and Printful are essentially the engines behind a lot of e-commerce operations. As a seller, you design your products. And then when someone buys from your store, these providers print your design on the product, handle all of the packing, and ship it straight to your customer's door. It's a seamless process that means that you don't have to stockpile inventory or deal with shipping logistics. Essentially, they let you focus on the creative side of the business while they take care of the rest. And although Printify and Printful offer similar services, there's actually some big differences in how they offer them. Printify basically acts as a broker or a middleman. So rather than actually printing your products for you, their platform is a bit more of a marketplace, which connects you to a large range of third-party print companies for you to choose from. Printful, on the other hand, handle the entire fulfillment process themselves. They partner with specific printing companies around the world and then automatically route your orders to the most appropriate facilities. So the main difference here is that with Printify, you can actually select which print company you want to go with, whereas with Printful, you really can't. And as we go through our 9 categories, I'll explain why this makes a difference and how it can impact you. So let's start with category 1, which is the product range. When it comes to products, both Printify and Printful have heaps to choose from. You won't be short of choice when it comes to finding a product to customize using either solution. That said, Printify's overall product catalog is over twice as large as Printful's at the moment. There are around 900 products available from Printify, compared to around 350 from Printful. Printify also gives you a lot more options within product categories. So for example, with t-shirts, there are around 50 different shirts available on Printify compared to 30 or so with Printful. Now, of course, it completely depends on what you're actually planning to sell, but based on my experiences, Printify gets the point here. Next up, let's talk about product quality. And right off the bat, it's clear that both Printify and Printful are really committed to high quality goods. From my experience, they both have really great processes in place to make sure that all of the products that they're shipping out are of high quality. But as I mentioned earlier, Printify is a marketplace with a bunch of different print providers. While that's great for options, it does mean that quality can vary depending on the provider that you're going with. But the good news is that Printify does display quality scores for all of its providers, meaning that you can take those into account when choosing which one to go with. With Printful, as they manage the entire fulfillment process and also print at specific facilities, there's a lot more consistency in the quality that you're getting from the products. But regardless of all of this, my suggestion is that if you're serious about providing your customers with high quality products, you should go away and order some samples from different providers. Feel the material, check the print quality, put them through a wash or two, and see what the results are. When it comes to points, it's a really close call. There's really not that much between them. They both offer really great quality prints, so I'm going to give them both half a point each. It's a tie. Next, let's talk about printing methods. And here is why I actually use both platforms for my print-on-demand business. Both Printify and Printful use similar printing methods, all of which are fairly typical for the print-on-demand industry. But here's the difference that impacted me. Printful offers a lot more opportunity at the moment when it comes to embroidery. Now I know embroidery isn't really a method of printing, but embroidery is getting extremely popular with a lot of buyers out there. And Printful makes it possible to embroider anything from hats to shirts to sweaters and more. And sadly at the moment, Printify doesn't offer as much opportunity when it comes to embroidery. I do hope that's something that will change in the future. And this is why for me personally, all of my embroidered goods are fulfilled by Printful, whereas my other print designs are done by Printify. But that's just me personally. So whilst both are consistent in terms of the more traditional printing methods used, I've got to give this point to Printful, simply because of the embroidery piece. I also want to take a moment to talk about mockups. It is so important to have fantastic product photos when it comes to selling online. And the good news is that both platforms do offer you a range of mockups that you can integrate directly with your selling platform. But this is where the similarities end. Printful's mockup catalog is far more extensive and gives you more opportunity to be creative. Printify's mockups, on the other hand, have been known to be a little bit more limited. There's not a lot of them, and you don't have much opportunity to edit them without using other tools. But if you're leaning towards Printify, it isn't the end of the world. Yeah, their mockups are pretty basic, but you can actually source really high quality mockups from other places as well, such as Etsy. I actually have a video where I talk about mockups and photo cards in a lot more detail. I'll put a link to that in the description below. So for this round, I've got to give Printful the point. They just have a better catalog of mockups that give you more opportunity. Now, if you're finding this comparison helpful so far, I would really appreciate your support by clicking on the thumbs up below. And if you're interested in learning more strategies about how to successfully grow a print-on-demand business, why don't you go ahead and subscribe as well? I post weekly videos and would love to have you along for the ride. Now we're going to talk about fulfillment. And both Printify and Printful are pretty decent when it comes to turnaround times. Printify has an average fulfillment time of 2 to 7 business days across its product catalog, whereas with Printful it's 2 to 5 days. So pretty similar at the end of the day. However, again, as Printify is a marketplace of different printers, the fulfillment time can vary from printer to printer. The good news is that Printify is pretty upfront about these timelines for each provider, meaning there aren't any nasty surprises for you. But Printify now brings something extra to the table, and that is their express delivery feature. This makes it possible to fulfill orders of certain products really quickly, having products fulfilled and delivered in about 2 to 3 days, which is absolutely fantastic. I actually used express delivery a lot during the holiday period. I had a lot of customers reach out to me asking if it was too late to place an order. And while it typically would have been, I was able to use the express delivery option to fast track their orders and get their gifts to them in time. So in terms of points, again, there's not much between them, but because of that express delivery feature, I'm actually going to give Printify the point here. Now let's talk about international orders. Now the good news is that you can fulfill orders around the world using both platforms. Printful has its own fulfillment centers in different regions around the world, and Printify has print providers from different countries that you can choose from. With Printful, the process is quite straightforward. When an international order is placed, it's automatically directed to the closest fulfillment center. So for example, if your customer's based in Germany, that order will be printed and shipped from the EU, minimizing both shipping times and delivery costs. Now, Printify's setup is a little bit different. Remember, it's a marketplace. So when you list a product, you choose a specific print provider, often based in a single region. This could mean, for example, that order from Germany would be set to ship from your US printing company. But here's where it gets interesting with Printify. With their order routing feature, they will automatically route orders to the provider that can fulfill them most efficiently, taking into account factors like location and fulfillment times. So with order routing, that German order may be routed from your US provider to a more local provider in Europe. I'd recommend you read up on order routing a bit more and have a look at your Printify settings to see if this is something you might be interested in and makes sense for you. But even with order routing, the simplicity of Printful's international order system definitely gives it the edge, so Printful gets a point here. Next, I want to talk about customer support. When you're running a business, having solid customer support that you can rely on is an absolute non-negotiable. Both Printful and Printify understand this and offer you two ways to get in touch, via email and via live chat. In my personal experience though, Printify really stands out. I think their live chat is particularly impressive. It's pretty common for me to connect with an actual human within just a few minutes. And more often than not, any issues are sorted out in a snap, usually within 5 to 10 minutes. And it's not just the speed, it's the quality of the support that really makes Printify shine. Take print quality concerns, for example. If a customer isn't happy, they're usually quick to offer a refund or a replacement. And that's a level of accountability that really resonates with me. Similarly, I've had customers reach out to tell me that their package never arrived. Printify has always been really helpful in investigating this with the shipping company and even sending out free replacements if it's deemed lost by the shipper. On the flip side, while Printful's customer service isn't bad by any means, it just hasn't hit those same high marks as my conversations with Printify have. The support is there, but it doesn't feel quite as easy and hassle-free as my interactions with Printify. For example, I sometimes have customers wanting to adjust their delivery address after they've placed the order. Whenever this has happened with a Printful order, the response I usually get from them is no can do. Whereas with Printify, depending on how long that order has been in production, they're usually a little bit more flexible around catering to these changes. So when it comes to customer support, Printify definitely gets my vote and a big point. Next, let's talk about branding. You might want to add some form of branding to your products or packaging. And both platforms do give you the opportunity to add your own branding in different ways, but there are differences. Let's break this down into clothing and packaging. So for clothing, with Printify you have the option of adding your own inside neck labels to some products. But it's worth mentioning that these branding options are only available through some of the printers on their network. This is, however, something that I've heard that they're actively working on improving. Printful, however, definitely takes the cake when it comes to flexibility around branding your products. You're not just getting neck labels on t-shirts, you're getting a lot of other different ways to brand your items, as well as more products that you have the ability to brand. Now, when it comes to packaging, Printify does give you the opportunity to add custom packaging inserts, which are little cards that carry your brand's message or design, something you can customize in Printify. It's a nice touch, but just like with the clothing, this is also only available through some of their providers. Printful takes it a step further and actually also gives you the opportunity to use branded packaging. This means you can send them your custom packaging materials and they'll use them to ship your products. It is a level up for sure, but do keep in mind that this obviously comes with additional costs. Overall, Printful gets my vote here. I know Printify are making strides in improving their branding capabilities, but for now, the point goes to Printful. Now you might be thinking, Daniel, why haven't you spoken about pricing yet? It's an important topic, so I've kept to the end to make sure that it doesn't get lost in the midst of the other categories we spoke about. So let's dive into pricing. And I think the easiest way for us to compare pricing is to look at a specific product on both platforms. So for this example, let's use the Gildan 18,000 sweatshirt. This is a really popular sweatshirt out there, so will give us a good understanding. So on Printify, again, it's a marketplace, so costs will vary depending on which provider you go with. Let's say we go with Swift POD, a navy sweatshirt in size large, with a print on one area will cost you $17.39. Shipping is then $8.49. This same sweatshirt on Printful will cost you $18.50 with the same shipping at $8.49. This means that the total cost you'd be paying for this with Printify is $25.88, whereas with Printful it's $26.99. So Printify seems to be the more budget-friendly option, and this is actually pretty consistent across different product categories as well, not just this sweatshirt. But you may be looking at these two numbers and thinking, yeah, but Printify is only a little bit cheaper than Printful. True, but let's put this into perspective. If you're selling this sweatshirt for, let's say, $40 on Etsy, the small difference in cost between Printify and Printful can really start to add up. So if you're selling one sweatshirt, it's not a big deal. But if you're going to be selling hundreds or even thousands of sweatshirts, which hopefully is your goal, then it can really impact your profit. For one sweatshirt, the difference in profit is $1.11. But if you sell 1,000 of these, that turns into a $1,110 difference. So you could be saving a lot more longer term by using Printify. Something else to keep in mind is that both platforms offer memberships, which give you access to discounts on a lot of products up to 20%. So for example, that same sweatshirt would cost $13.39 with Printify Premium and $14.90 with Printful Growth. But even with these memberships, we can see Printify coming out ahead in terms of cost effectiveness. It's cheaper. And of course, these memberships have their own fees. It's $29.99 per month for Printify Premium and $24.99 per month for Printful Growth. I'm planning to delve deeper into whether these memberships are a good investment for you in an upcoming video. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. But at the end of the day, once we crunch the numbers, Printify is more cost effective. So Printify gets the point here. Alright, we've covered our 9 categories. Drumroll please. And the result is a tie. I know, ties are boring. But here's the thing. I want you to take these results with a grain of salt. Why? Because what's important to one person may not matter as much to another. Everyone's got their own set of needs and priorities in the business world, and the print-on-demand industry is no different. Listen, they're both great platforms. But to break this tie for me personally, I actually went through these 9 categories and weighed them up in terms of how important they are individually to me and my business. Pricing, product quality, and customer support came out on top for me. And this is why I mainly use Printify. But again, I do still use Printful for certain situations, such as for embroidery, and there's nothing stopping you from doing the same. So my advice is to grab a pen and paper, jot down these 9 criteria, and mark down what really matters to you. Then why not play the field a bit? Dive into both platforms, check out their product offerings, make some sample orders, and maybe even have a chat with their customer support. By getting your hands dirty and experiencing firsthand what each of these platforms has to offer, you'll be in a much better position to understand which of these 2 resonates better with your business. At the end of the day, it's all about finding the right match for you and your brand. I'm going to be talking about Printify, Printful, and print on demand in general a lot more in future videos. So if you don't want to miss those, please feel free to subscribe below. I also have some great other videos for you to check out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.